Hi there. I just want to do a video about the Comex and basically just talk about prices of precious metals. I mean, at this point, the prices of precious metals are completely out of touch with reality, with what's going on in the world. Now, I own some gold and some silver, and I've been buying a little bit at a time, basically for the last couple of years. And I have a local coin shop that I go to. Every couple of weeks or so, I'll pay a visit. Sometimes I'll buy something, sometimes I don't. Or I'll just go and see what the current going rate is for everything. Well, anyway, I went there last weekend. I dropped by, and one thing that I'm actually seeing now, which I didn't really see before, is now, of course, there's always a premium on precious metals. Like whenever I buy silver, I know there's always a premium. I'm never going to get the silver for what the price at the Comex is. I understand that, there's always a premium. But what I'm starting to see now, I've noticed in the last probably month, maybe month and a half, is whenever I've been going there now, I've now been noticing that even though the price is going down, like in the last probably about 3 weeks now, the price is going down. For silver, for example, the premiums are actually going up. Now, before, what always used to happen is, you'd have the Comex price of silver, and then you'd have the premium price, the price that, the average Joe would pay, with the premium. And how it used to work before is, if the Comex price would go up, the premium price would go up as well. If the Comex price went down, the premium price would kind of go down, but the premium price would always be higher. That kind of would somewhat go up and down together. But what I'm noticing now is you have the Comex price and the premium price. The Comex price is going down, the premium price is going up. About for example, today I checked the price of silver. Silver today is it's about $12.20 US an ounce, and it's about $15.20 an ounce Canadian in Canadian dollars. Now, when I went to the coin shop, the same coin shop, about 3 weeks ago, silver was about $17.50 an ounce, and his premium that he would charge, you'd pay basically maybe 19, 20, 21 an ounce is what his premium would have been. So I went there last weekend thinking, okay, well, the price fell in the last 3 weeks by about between $1.50 and $2. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll get it for a little cheaper. Of course, I know I'm not going to get it for the Comex price. But I went in there, and to my surprise, even though the price of silver fell by between $1.50 to $2 in the last 3 weeks, his premiums are actually now higher than what it was 3 weeks ago when the price was almost $2 higher. The premium is even higher now, and basically, this is the way I feel. Now, there's some people out there that will simply say, people that charge a premium, they're just trying to rip you off. It's a rip-off. But this is what I believe, though. I believe that if you have a premium, for example, if silver is quoted on the Comex for, let's say $15 an ounce, and let's say any place you go to, they charge, let's say, 18, 19, 20 an ounce. See, I believe that that's not a rip-off. I believe that the premium is actually, in fact, the real market rate. Because the price on the Comex, it's irrelevant. We know this now. Everyone knows this, that the price on the Comex is irrelevant. You can't buy precious metals for what the Comex is quoting it at unless you buy paper silver or paper gold, But, I wouldn't advise on that. I would completely stay away from that. Let's say if the economy ever collapses, and we have to resort to the barter system. Good luck, finding someone that's willing to trade you goods and services for, your paper metals. It's not going to happen. Look at everything that's going on in the world. You have banks collapsing, insurance companies collapsing. You have people losing, retirement money. You have governments running up these record deficits all over the world. There's so much printing of money going on. Eventually, we're going to have, we're going to run out of paper and ink. We're going to have a shortage of that. Look at all these things that are going on in the world. The demand for precious metals is skyrocketing. I mean, it's getting to the point where you read about it all the time. Mints all over the world are having trouble keeping up with demand. You know, the Royal Canadian Mint, the US Mint, the Austrian Mint, the South African Mint, they're all struggling to keep up with demand. You know, and you hear all the time of the US Mint suspending sales of certain coins because they just don't have enough of the blanks to stamp these coins out. You know, and despite all of this, you know, the Comex price for gold is going down. The Comex price for silver is going down. You know, it doesn't make any sense. You know, what's happening right now, the Comex is doing right now what the United States government did under the gold standard before 1971. What they're doing, just like the US government, is under the gold standard for every banknote that the US government printed and put into circulation, they had to have an equal amount of gold in a vault somewhere because it's backed by gold. But eventually the Bretton Woods Agreement, which is what it was called, collapsed because what was happening was the US government was printing more money than they had gold to back it by. And that's the same scam that the Comex is doing right now. You know, they're you know, selling these paper silver and paper gold. They're selling these and they don't have enough gold or silver to possibly back it all. You know, they don't have the metals they're selling. I mean, as a matter of fact, I read last week, it was reported in the news, you can look it up yourself, that apparently the European Central Bank saved the Comex from defaulting, from having a gold default. They actually received gold from, I believe it was the Deutsche Bank, which received the gold from the European Central Bank. You know, they would have defaulted. They would have had a gold default if it wasn't for the European Central Bank. You know, look it up. You know, don't take my word for it. Go, you know, type it up in a search engine. Type up, you know, European Central Bank saves Comex. You know, go look it up. You know, and you know what's going to happen too? I mean, look at this. I mean, they're doing the same thing the U.S. government did under the Bretton Woods Agreement. And look at this. You know, obviously, if me as an average Joe, obviously if I know what's going on, you know damn well the government knows this is going on, but yet nothing gets done. You know, what's going to happen is eventually when the Comex does in fact default, you know, the government's going to come in and be like, oh gee, you know, we didn't see this, what the hell happened? Oh my God, like we didn't see this happening, oh my God, this just came out of nowhere. You know, the government comes in and they act all naive, like, oh my God, you know, what happened here? I mean, they know this is going on. If me as an average Joe, if I know about this, obviously the government knew a hell of a lot sooner than I did. You know, they know this is going on, but you know, it's allowed to go on. And then it progresses and progresses until it reaches a crisis level. And then the government comes in like this white knight to save the day, to fix a crisis they could have prevented in the first place if they would have acted when they knew these things were going on as they were going on. You know? I mean, that's the thing. You know, I just want to say to people, don't buy paper gold, don't buy paper silver, get the physical stuff. And as far as a premium, that's not a premium, that's the actual market rate. All right. Obviously, if prices are that high, all right. Obviously, if there's a high premium and people are still buying gold and silver in record numbers, obviously, then that is the real rate, people. You know, that's what you have to understand. That is the real rate. If the prices are skyrocketing, you know, or premiums are skyrocketing, people are still buying. That is the market rate. Like I said, the Comex rate, their quote on the price of precious metals is a joke. It's irrelevant. It's meaningless. Don't pay any attention to that. It doesn't mean anything anymore. The Comex is finished. I mean, I don't know when it's going to happen, but they're finished. They are finished. So put your money in physical and physical only, because if everything, you know, like they say, if the shit hits the fan, you know, you're not getting nowhere on your paper gold and your paper silver. So please buy physical. Anyway, thank you for listening to my video. If anyone wants to post a comment or a video that, you know, perhaps debunks what I'm saying, if you know what, I want someone out there, if you can, prove to me that precious metals are not manipulated. You know, leave a comment or a video and prove to me. I want someone to prove to me that it's in fact not manipulated, because as far as I'm concerned, I've made up my mind. It's precious metals are manipulated. And if someone can prove otherwise and debunk this, you know, put a video there and prove me wrong. You know, show me that it's not manipulated. Well, anyway, you know, thanks for looking at my video, and I guess we're just going to see what's going to happen with the Comex in the future.